Welcome to the Diverseminds podcast, where we give you the tips, tools, and techniques you need to be a mentally healthy and inclusive leader. Each week, you'll hear about a variety of topics linked to mental health, well-being, and diversity that will enhance both your professional practice and personal well-being. Welcome to the 298th episode of the award-winning Diverseminds podcast. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about my new website and its features to help support you in your work. Don't forget, the podcast is now fortnightly, but if you're missing weekly content, you have 6 years worth of episodes to listen to. And if you want my handy guide that lists the episodes with a clickable link, you can get it at the new downloads link on my website, which I'm going to talk about later. So stay with me if you would like that link. So new Gregorian year, new website. And actually, this has been planned for some time. And I've thought about the redesign of the Diverseminds website. And this isn't just a rebrand or a visual refresh, but a meaningful moment for business and me personally. Because there are times where a website project isn't simply about fonts and colors and looking nice, but it's about reflecting identity and deciding on being brave and stepping into a more colorful and potentially less drab or formulaic business persona. I've been running Diverseminds full-time since October 2017 and as a side hustle since December 2016. My first website was built in 2018 by Kieran Davison of Davison and Brain, and we've worked together ever since. And I will give the link to check out her website if you want to know more. So when I first met her, I remember I had done some exercises of looking at websites I really liked from all different walks of life, in particular skincare websites, because I do love skincare. So skincare websites and really good ones and different things. And I remember I'd gone away for a weekend and I took a big flip chart paper with me and I was looking at these websites and I was mapping them out. And we had our first meeting. I said, right, okay, here's a customer journey. Here's what I like. She was like, wow, okay. And we hit it off really ever since. At the time, of course, it did exactly what it needed to do. It helped to get the brand established. Up until that point, until March 2018, I'd just been using social media, which I think you absolutely can do. But there does come a point where you do need a website. And that was the point for me. It explained the work and it showed that Diverseminds were credible. And particularly in 2020, where there was a lot of traffic to the website on the areas of race equity. And over the years, there have been small tweaks and updates made. Absolutely. We had a redesign in 2021. But last year, it was clear that the website was not as bright, inviting, and juicy as it could be. There were a few things that were misaligned. So the visual style was a bit outdated. I think the scrolling big images I had at the top of the screen, that people don't really have those anymore. It didn't really reflect the fact that Diverseminds as an organization is rooted in culture, well-being, and lived experience. Secondly, after doing work with the Wheel in Ireland and really talking about accessible websites, now I have done accessible website work when I worked inside organizations, but I think it's quite different when it's your own. But I realized that more could be done with mine. And thirdly, I felt the materials, resources, and pieces of knowledge that were on the website weren't curated in the best way possible for people to access them easily. This meant the website wasn't supporting people in the way it should have done. So I really hope you're enjoying the content of the podcast and want to keep up to date. Then why not join my bi-monthly newsletter? When you join my mailing list, you can now choose the resource you would like. So would you like the resource on address your stress? Would you like the resource on inclusive language? Would you like the mentally healthy leading manager ebook? Or would you like the Diverseminds podcast download? So you can choose. So you can choose when you do that. So let's have a little tour of the website. So if you go on the homepage, the first thing I want to draw your attention to is in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see an icon of a little person with their arms out and legs slightly outstretched. If you click on that, those are all the accessibility adjustments powered by one tap. So there is an enhanced mode for vision impaired, visual impairments, seizure safe profile, which reduces flashes and color, an ADHD-friendly mode, which is really helpful. You get a ribbon that goes across the screen. And actually, whether you have ADHD or not, I found this really, really useful. A blindness mode, which reduces distractions and improves focus, and an epilepsy safe mode, which dims color and stops any blinking, although I shouldn't have any. You can also increase font size and line height, highlight links, highlight readable font, do text magnifier. You can have more dyslexia friendly font, align text. You can do different color modules around dark contrast, light contrast. You can orientate things in a slightly different way. You can mute any sounds. You can highlight titles and stop any animations, although I don't think I have any. So have a go with that. I think it's great. I had a really good play with that, and I think it's a really great tool. So you'll see that there's just one big image now. And I think if you think about being brave, that was quite brave. And I'd also like to send a huge thank you to Karen Rosswell, who did the photos, and we did that over spring and summer in 2025. We've then got the stats on mental health, and then the options about working with me. So training, speaking, coaching, and consultancy, again, with images from Karen's photo shoot. And then if you scroll down, we've got the resources, and you can have a look at the podcast there, and the latest podcasts are right there. There's a player instead, because on the old website you'd go and there was the latest podcast. We've got that in a different format now. And something that's new are the podcast power up packs. So you can have a look at that. So there are 4 episodes, particular episodes of podcasts that are really popular. I've now created power up packs. So what are power up packs? They are an agenda and slides that you can use for yourself to do your own lunch and learns for £150 plus VAT. Then we've got the links to the online mentally healthy professional course and free downloads. And underneath all of this is Jessica Ordgard and the graphic images that she created for me. So they underpin that. We're looking at, so it made it more colourful, but colours that go with the current Diverseminds green. And actually the Diverseminds green isn't very easy to match to, but we use a specific tool, Kieran and I, to find colours that go. Then you'll see the testimonials, and we've got some new shiny updated testimonials and a banners with organizations we've worked with and my accreditations. The about page has changed. So the next page along is the about page, and we've got something about the story and the origins. So if you're interested in that. And we've also got a new page on values. So what are the values, how the values have been shaped. And I really love this format that Kieran's done, so that we've got it in really distinct boxes and it's clear and easy to read with a pop of color. And finally, under the about page, we've also got testimonials. So new testimonials, and you can scroll through and read the older testimonials as well. And then if you move along, the third tab along is training. So there's quite a lot of content on here. We've got a sort of a landing page for training. And then within that, we've got the mental health and wellbeing training, leadership training, inclusion and cultural awareness training. And something that I've just been accredited to do is work needs assessments for neurodivergent conditions across the spectrums in the workplace. And within that, you can have a really good look at each one of those. If you click into those, you get more information. And in fact, I think this is helpful now, because if you click into each one, it lists what things are. I think in the last website, there was a bit of confusion about what's offered. And if you, for example, go on to the mental health and wellbeing training page, you can see all the options, and you can also see the beautiful graphics, and more graphics there from Jess in bright colors. So there's a lot there. And at the bottom of that, sort of the options, the menu, there is the coaching page. So all about the coaching, and the FAQs have, of course, remained, because I thought they were really important, about what is coaching and how I can help you. Then we have the speaking page, the 4th tab along, and there's some beautiful images here that Kieran has chosen. Paisley, and I just recently learnt the history of Paisley, actually. So really fascinating, and it is absolutely Indian. Came from Persia. Yes, it's a really fascinating story. I won't digress. But you can see my TEDx talk here, and also my one size does not fit all that I did at Imperial some time ago now, March 2017. So have a look at that. And you can also share this page. It's quite simple. So again, if someone's looking for a speaker and you think I'd be a good fit, then please do share that. And then there's a consultancy page. And I think this page is much better than it was. Really clear and just about ready to take action, how I can help you. Now, then the next side is the resources, and this is a really juicy bit. So if you feel you can't work with me and you don't have the budget, or you don't have the budget yet, or you're not sure, this is the place for you, the resources tab. Because on the resources tab, you've got the podcast. And again, like the previous website, we have all the podcasts listed there in numerical order. So you can dive into all those resources. And don't forget, if you want to get the guide that lists the first 200, so you can have the clickable links, that's there as well. Then scrolling down, you've got the podcast power up packs. And on there, you've got the explanation of what you get and how it works, and the 4 packs that are available. So they are having conversations about workplace adjustments, 8 ways to create culturally inclusive meetings, still too scared to talk about race, and why bother with inclusive language. So if you click on that, you pay, and then you can download the packs. The blog is still there, and I'm hoping to add to that this year, but all the blog resources are there under the resources tab. And then we've got the Mentally Healthy Professional online course. So please don't forget that. And I didn't have it on the last website and I couldn't work out how to put it on there in a good way. And I think this is much better. So you've got what it's about. And then if you click enroll now, that takes you to the Thinkific page. And of course, the download. So if you want to join my mailing list or you want to just simply get hold of a download, they are all free. So we've got the white paper on mental health and inclusion, the Mentally Healthy Leading Manager ebook, the Diverse Minds podcast guide to download, and Address Your Stress 10-step download. So they're all there for you as well. And then finally, the contact page. So you can send me an email, you can leave me a message on SpeakPipe, as you know, you can book a meeting with me via Calendly. You can also book the one-to-one power hours or strategy coaching sessions. And each page has a different image, an image that kind of ties to Indian heritage and color. And that's different. And I've also used some different images. You'll see a particular image on the Diverse Minds in your organization under the About page, and different color highlights and pops on each page. And it just feels a bit simpler and a bit more fun. So I hope you enjoy having a look at that and playing around with it. I think that hopefully this will be much clearer and easier to use. And I hope you enjoy it as much as I have. And don't forget that I do run workshops, training sessions, and keynotes for organizations, all about creating positive, happy, and equal workplaces. So you can email me at Layla, Leyla, at diverseminds.co.uk. And I really hope you've enjoyed today's show and, of course, the episodes over the last 6 years. So if you have, why not write me a review on Apple or Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast from. And if you want to leave me a voice note, you can do it anonymously or with your name on SpeakPipe, and that is bit.ly/SPKPDMP. And you can, of course, watch my TEDx talk on the speaker page on my website, but you can also go to the video itself, which is bit.ly/TEDxWolves, WOLVESLO. And I talk about my experience of navigating workplace culture and the toxicity of it. It's all about the connection between culture, race, and mental health in the workplace. And don't forget, it's just 12 minutes long, so something that you can watch in your break. I really hope you enjoy it. And if you do, please do share. And don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn. And the resources for today are the new download site, so diverseminds.co.uk/downloads, the Diverse Minds website, which is diverseminds.co.uk. I also talked about Kieran Davison and her website, and that is Davison, so DAVISON, brain, BRAIN, all one word.com. So you can have a look at that. And if you go to her About page, you can find out more about her. Also, I'd like to big up Jess Orgard, who did my graphics, freelance graphic designer, and her address is Orgard Design, AUGARDE design, all one word.com. And the brilliant Karen Roswell, who took my photos and was an inspiration for the colors and the vibe behind the website. And she is Karen Roswell, KAREN Roswell, ROSWELL.co.uk. And I absolutely recommend, if you are someone who really hates having your photo taken, having a headshot, she's absolutely the person for you. And she's, her speciality is sort of headshots, working with people in situ. So really recommend her. Brilliant. So I hope that's been useful to you. I hope if you're thinking about having a website or doing graphics or having a photo shoot, those are useful people for you too. And do take care. And next week, we're going to be talking about managing emotions in this really tumultuous and difficult environment. So until then, everyone, take care and bye for now.
Thanks for listening to the Diverse Minds podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you access your podcasts from. You can also connect with me on Facebook and LinkedIn. Tune into next week's episode of the podcast, where I'll bring you more insights on mental health and inclusion. Bye for now.